Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we are diving deep into the AuDHD brain. That's the unique combination of autism and ADHD. We're going to explore why, for these students, inspiration isn't just some nice little bonus. Nope. It's actually a neurological necessity for them to learn, to create, and to thrive. Let's get right into it.
So, let's start with something that really hits home. This comes from clinical psychologist Dr. Naomi Fisher. For so many AuDHD kids, school isn't just a place that doesn't quite fit. It's a place where, day after day, they start to learn and internalize this message that they're the problem, that they're broken. And that fundamental mismatch is really what we're here to talk about.
So that leads to this huge question, right? What if we just flipped the whole script? Instead of trying to force these incredible, unique minds to fit into a box they were never designed for, what if we designed education to actually work with their natural wiring?
To even begin to answer that, we've got to pop the hood. We first need to understand the user manual, So in this first section, let's explore the unique operating system of the AuDHD brain.
This is such a perfect way to picture the difference in thinking. See, schools usually expect what's called top-down processing. It's like being an architect. You start with the final blueprint and fill in the details. But the AuDHD mind? It often works bottom-up, more like a detective at a crime scene gathering all these little clues one by one until suddenly the whole picture just clicks into place. It's not a flaw, it's just a totally different strategy.
And this right here is the heart of the matter for so many AuDHD folks. There's this constant internal tug of war. On one side, you've got the autistic drive for routine, for predictability, for going deep. And on the other, you've got the ADHD drive that's constantly craving something new, some new stimulation. The day-to-day experience is this incredible balancing act between two really powerful competing needs. Which brings us to a super important point. The AuDHD mind is not scattered. The attention style is actually called monotropism. So think of it less like a dim, wide floodlight trying to see everything at once, and more like a powerful, focused laser beam. It channels a massive amount of energy into just a few deep attention tunnels. And that state, well, that's what we call hyperfocus.
Okay, so if the AuDHD brain is basically wired for these deep, laser-like attention tunnels, what pushes the button? What ignites that beam? The answer, both psychologically and neurologically, is inspiration. So let's get into the science of that spark.
Inspiration isn't just some vague, fluffy feeling. Psychologists have a really specific definition for it. They see it as this distinct state where something outside of you suddenly makes you see new possibilities, and it completely changes your perception of what you're capable of. It's not just about feeling good, it's about seeing a whole new way forward. So this state, it breaks down into three key parts. First, it's evoked. It's not something you can force. It happens to you. Second, there's transcendence. It kind of lifts you out of your own head and points you towards something bigger. And third, and this is absolutely crucial for learning, it creates approach motivation. That's a powerful, energized drive to actually do something, to act. And just how powerful is this motivation? Well, check this out. One study found that people who were asked to remember an inspiring moment stuck with a difficult task for way longer. But get this, the people who just remembered something amusing, they were 5 times more likely to just give up. 5 times! That's the difference we're talking about. Inspiration literally fuels persistence. So if inspiration is the spark, what's the engine that it ignites? Well, that brings us to the neuroscience of flow, the state that AuDHD folks know so well as hyperfocus. This is where the real magic happens.
All right, I know this looks like a super complicated term, transient hypofrontality, but let's just break it down. It's actually pretty cool. Transient means temporary, hypo means less, and frontality refers to your prefrontal cortex, which is basically your brain's inner critic. So, in a flow state, that nagging inner voice temporarily shuts up, which frees up a huge amount of brain power for creativity and exploration.
So what's actually happening under the hood? Well, for one, the brain's daydreaming network goes quiet. Your brain waves actually slow down, entering a more meditative state. And here's the best part. Freed from its usual rules and constraints, the brain starts making all these new connections, lighting up new pathways for ideas that weren't there before.
So where do these amazing aha moments actually come from? Neuroscientists now think the cerebellum, a part of the brain we used to think just handled motor control, is running this background process they call creative optimization.
It's unconsciously taking apart everything we know, remixing the pieces, and then, bam, it delivers the result back to our conscious mind as a sudden insight. It's like an innovation lab running in the background.
Okay, let's pull all of this together. Now that we know how the AuDHD brain is wired, what sparks it into action, and the incredible creative engine it uses, how do we actually design an environment and education that nurtures all of that instead of crushing it?
What this calls for, really, is a total shift in how we think. The old system forces these students to spend all their energy just managing external threats. Deadlines, judgment, sensory hell. But a neuro-affirming system lets them organize their life around their own inner values and needs. It's a shift from just surviving to actually flourishing.
And the ultimate goal here, the real endgame, it's not just about coping. It's about cultivating something truly incredible called polymathic synthesis. This is where that autistic drive to tunnel deep and become an expert combines with the ADHD drive to branch out wide and explore everything. The result is this amazing, nonlinear, systems-thinking mind that can see connections that literally everyone else misses.
So this is the thought I really want to leave you with. For the AuDHD brain, following a spark of inspiration isn't a distraction from the real work. It is the work. It's the neurological key that unlocks everything: hyperfocus, creativity, deep learning, all of it. So just imagine, what incredible human potential could we unlock if we finally started treating it that way?